The amazing Digital Circus Episode 6 has left us with more questions than answers, and it seems Kinger is not who we thought he was. That scene in Episode 6, where he creates a butterfly out of thin air and changes the circus's appearance, something similar to what Kane is supposed to do, is just the beginning. In addition to Kinger hiding a dark secret, we have proof that a major change related to him is coming in Episode 7. It turns out that the show's creator, Gooseworks, had already hinted at this change a long time ago. She recently made a strange comment about the upcoming episodes that a fan collected. Basically, this means we'll see a massive plot twist that will cause a huge shift in the story. In a live stream, Gooseworks confirmed that she has been leaving subtle clues, preparing a very important revelation, and several other things. This way, when the series ends and you watch it again, it will be more satisfying, because you'll notice that those small details in previous episodes were actually hints for a major plot twist. This is where Kinger's big secret comes into play. He is the only member of the circus we've seen connected to this idea of small clues that reappear multiple times, designed to hint at something very big in the series' future. But what were those clues, really? And what do they tell us about Kinger's big secret? Well, it turns out, just as was mentioned in the comments about the future episodes, these clues have been preparing us for this big twist since the very first episode. While Kinger acts as his insane version in the pilot, saying and doing things that fit his role, there is one particular thing he mentions that stands out, something we later discover is much more important than it seemed. When Gangle and Kinger go down to the basement and see the Gloink Queen, Kinger randomly asks if what he's seeing is a collection of bugs, a weird idea that keeps popping up again and again in the series after that first time. Kinger talks about bugs so often that people even created music dedicated to that specific topic, but what did it really mean? We know that in a Q&A, Gooseworks clarified that Kinger's wife loved insects before she abstracted, which explains why he mentioned them so much. But there was still more to this idea of the bug collection. In Episode 6, bugs reappear, but this time as a symbol that Kinger is capable of changing the digital circus and manipulating its programming, similar to what Kane does. This theme has been building since the pilot episode, connecting to the idea that Kinger has special powers. Powers that we know are linked to his past memories, to bugs, and essentially to who he was before he got trapped in the circus.
All right, now I would bet our biggest concerns would be Jax and Zubul. They're the youngest, so they probably still have some youthful fighting spirit.
Man, I'm still missing a heart. This isn't fair.
Huh? Oh, I've got just the thing. Here, take this.
Well, wait. What did you just do? What was that?
It's a butterfly. It can restore your health.
Did Kane mention that?
Oh, nah. I made it up.
What?
Episodes 7 and 8 will reveal that Kinger is actually the creator of the digital world from the beginning. Kinger is the original creator. But how do we know all this? And what does it tell us about what we can expect in the remaining episodes of the series? Well, returning to those old memories that are linked to Kinger's strange powers, we know that one particular memory has already been revealed to us that was much more important than we initially thought. In Episode 3, when he has a deep conversation with Pomni, Kinger tells her details of his past life, including that he studied computer science for 7 years. And although at the time it seemed like a random piece of information placed by the creators, this detail fits perfectly to explain how Kinger had the necessary knowledge to create the digital world from the beginning. In fact, it's already confirmed that Kinger is the member of the circus who has been trapped in the digital world for the longest, which makes a lot of sense if it happened, because he ended up being absorbed by his own creation. This would also explain why, although Kinger is shown as an unstable character, having spent so much time trapped in that world would obviously damage anyone's mind. Even so, he is still able to be the most intelligent person when needed. For example, Jax even comments on how Kinger managed to put all the pieces together and perfectly explain how food works in their world in the pilot episode. But what early spoilers does this give us about Episode 7? Well, going back to what the show's creator said, we know that there is a big change in the series that was planned beforehand, and it turns out that Glitch has already started leaving clues about this behind the scenes if you know where to look. They hid a big revelation on their special Digital Circus Award Show page that they released recently, something that is clearly connected to the future episodes, since the Fast Facts section of that page mentioned that Jax was the only member of the circus who truly knew how Ribbit abstracted. This connects directly to the big scene in Episode 6, where we saw Jax uncomfortable confronting his old friend again. But the most important piece of information on that page was a text written backward that, when corrected, said, "Kane is crazy, help us save ourselves." And although it was partly added as a movie reference, it actually had a much deeper meaning. As the creator said, spoilers about major future events have already been hidden in plain sight, and the fact that Kane could become a villain fits perfectly with everything we have seen in the series. In the most recent episodes, we have noticed how Kane shows an increasing need to control the circus members and everything they do. This started when he exploded and dismantled the circus after hearing Zubul say he was doing several things wrong. Then, in episode 5, we saw him very annoyed because the circus members were not enjoying their adventures, which led him to send them on those made-up missions from the suggestion box. But when Kane realizes that the circus members seem to enjoy the adventures they choose themselves more than the ones he assigns them, he gets extremely angry. So much so that he decides to end everything abruptly and move to an intermission scene. With Kane acting this way, it makes a lot of sense that he is being set up as the main villain, the one who tries to prevent the circus members from finding the true exit from the digital circus. And this is where Kinger comes in, because having the power to change parts of the circus is exactly what the others would need to escape once and for all. But the most important thing about the new leak about Jax is that it is also revealed that he holds a dark secret that we will see in one of the upcoming episodes. We have publications and specific details about him that make it clear that Jax is much more than we initially thought. The creator, Gooseworks, had already hinted that we were going to receive more information, explaining that deep down, each member of the circus remembers certain details of their past life before entering, and that Jax's character, in particular, was important. He still holds a dark secret that we need to discover.